right, this is the next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions, continuing our pay-per-view retro review series. Gonna be In Your House 13, the final four. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank, and let's get into this. We got a lot to cover on this one. As the road to WrestleMania just hit a nasty bump in the road on this one.
Nasty bump named Shawn Michaels.
But, lost a smile. February 16th, 1997, from Chattanooga, Tennessee. Roughly 6,400 on hand for this one. Jerry Lawler, JR doing the commentating on this one.
Yeah, I think is this the first one with JR and the King, just them two?
Just them two without Vince and no In Your House set.
I was about to mention that the house is gone on the outside.
For this one, anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe the truck didn't get there in time. Who knows?
Who knows what happened? Well, no, but then Mankind destroyed it.
They had to build another one.
Yeah. So
I know they have it back by the time Canadian Stampede shows up.
Yeah.
But we got a lot to cover in this one. Let's get to it. The opening matchup before we get to the soap opera of the night. The opening matchup was Wild Man Mark Merrow versus Leif Cassidy.
Leif Cassidy again in your house match.
Yeah. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe this is the one where Merrow got hurt. Because it looked like afterwards that he had the issues with the knee, and I know that's what he went out with. Yeah. So it could have started here.
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
But
he's got the goatee now. He's like the jealous. He's jealous of, he doesn't want anybody like giving Sable attention. This worked with Macho Man, but it didn't work with the Wild Man. It killed him.
No, because he wasn't popular enough for the fans to give a crap.
Right, yeah.
They were like, "Oh, you want to act like an ass? Okay, we'll boo you. It don't matter. We don't care."
Yeah.
But I mean, this match was lackluster to me. I don't think Merrow should have been fighting Cassidy in this match. I think maybe it could have been anybody else but him. I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from Al Snow. It's just this gimmick was not working for him. Leif Cassidy, the whole thing was just not working.
He still got the new Rockers gear on too.
Yeah, despite the fact that there is no more new Rockers. Yeah. So he, shortly after this, he's going to go through the new gimmick rebranding, and then he'll eventually come back as Al Snow, and it'll work.
Sable's got the sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
She's starting to get over now.
Oh yeah,
the beginning of the end of Mark
Merrow, unfortunately. So I mean, the match wasn't bad. 9.5 minutes. Right. He hits his wild thing to get the victory and the pin over Leif Cassidy. Of course, who's not going to beat Leif Cassidy at this point? They do show a couple of the high-flying aerial moves. And like I said, I mentioned the injury because he did tweak his knee at this to where once the match was over, he did have some difficulty stepping on it that Sable had to help him. So, yeah, this is pretty much going to be it for Merrow until pretty much Survivor Series.
Because he ends up tearing his ACL and he's gone for like 6 months or whatever it is, maybe more.
And that gave Vince a lot of time to figure out a dumb gimmick for him. So, and meanwhile, her popularity went through the roof. So, let's hurry up before we get to the next match, which had a replacement. Let's get to the drama. Which, by the way, why was a Honky Tonk Man there?
He shows up for 2 seconds.
They play his music and that's it.
And then
they cut him out, to a video package. Yeah. That was it.
I'm assuming because it was in Memphis.
Right? I also think it was.
Oh, not Memphis. I'm sorry. It was in Tennessee. It was in Tennessee.
While they were showing the video package for the fans watching on pay-per-view, I think he was doing something for the fans there.
Yeah,
and we just happened to hear his music.
Right, but because he's from Tennessee, I would imagine that's why.
Yeah, and he was sort of back at this point. He wrestled the obscure match, but he was the Rockabilly.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Exactly.
So then they cut it off to show the whole "Lost My Smile" thing, right?
Yes. This was what happened on Thursday Night Raw, just 3 days prior to the pay-per-view. Yep. Nothing like waiting to the last minute, Sean.
What's happened, but I've lost my smile. A lot of
things have happened, and one of those things is I lost my smile.
And I remember watching his promo, I'm like, what the hell is he talking about?
To me, it sounded like he was giving up, that the business over the last year destroyed him on the inside. And that he was just giving up and going home.
He did mention
that's what it sounded to me.
Right. He did mention that his knee was injured and that he may never wrestle again. The behind the scenes story is that Shawn had a knee injury. Instead of going to a specialist like somebody WWF recommended, he goes like to his own doctor in Texas, and he tells him, "Oh yeah, you can't wrestle anymore. This knee's messed up." Which The thing is, when you're an athlete, you have to go to athletic doctors because if
And at that time, it was
a
James
regular
Andrews.
a regular doctor is going to look at your knee and say, "Oh, this is terrible. You can't perform like that." That's why you got to go to a guy who's used to dealing with athletes who have bad knees to begin with. So that's what happened. So
He'll
he
know
thought,
if it's bad or not.
yeah. So then he told WWF, Vince, I can't wrestle anymore. So then that's what happened. And then they sent him to their specialist, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we can fix it up. You'll be fine."
Yeah.
That's pretty much what happened. But the rumor and innuendo is that he did not want to drop the title to Bret Hart. So he's like, the hell with this.
I'm going to go out.
Yeah.
I'm here. Gorilla, here's your title.
Yeah.
And he said, over the last year, I've gone through a lot of things. And again, I'm going to say it. And I've lost a lot of things. And one of them's been my smile. And I'm like, what the
I didn't know what he was talking about. But that threw this thing into a mess because the original match, from what I understand, that Final Four match, which happens later in the night, was a number one contenders match. And I believe Sean
because they wouldn't acknowledge Austin's Rumble victory.
Yeah.
That's what Monsoon told him.
So looking at the poster, I guess it was Sid versus Sean on this night.
Yeah, Sid was getting his rematch because now they announced after this that, or actually they announced it during or after the next match. It doesn't really matter. Psycho said that the next night on Raw he would face the winner of the Final Four.
Right.
So tonight's winner would only be champion for 24 hours.
Right. Yeah.
Gotta love why they just didn't put him in there and make it a fatal 5-way. I have no idea. Just cut the thing out. Whoever wins the title this night goes to WrestleMania and be done with it. There was a lot of chaos here thanks to Sean, who threw a wrench in all of this 72 hours before the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And then shows up at WrestleMania doing a flip off the freaking rope.
Fine. He's healed like Wolverine.
And he looks at the knee and goes, "Oh yeah," shakes it off a little bit.
Healed like Wolverine.
So did he have a knee injury? Yes.
He did.
The severity of what he said, I don't believe so.
Only he knows how bad it was.
Exactly.
We're not inside his body, but the point is that for him to go to a regular doctor, to me doesn't make sense. And then to well, my doctor said I can't wrestle, so I'm done. I don't know. I think
this was quite a few weeks after the Rumble.
Yeah.
And now this is getting to the next pay-per-view where after this you're going to be facing Bret again.
This is one of many times Sean does not lose a belt and he just drops it. So
unfortunately, but it is what it is.
Going forward.
This is what we've got facing us hitting our main event. The WWE title is vacated. Our next match was the Nation of Domination, Farouk, Crush, and Savio. Was supposed to be Flash Funk, Goldust, and Ahmed Johnson, but Ahmed Johnson had an infected arm. I believe it was the staph infection.
Was it?
Okay. That he had. And so he was replaced by Bart Gunn. So and all of these three guys had a run-in over the last couple of weeks with the Nation. This was a Monday Night Raw match to me.
It really was.
It did, especially these three guys teaming together just didn't make any sense. Even with Ahmed on this team with Flash Funk and Goldust didn't make sense when they signed it. I think this should have been if he was going to face the Nation again, that this should have been again a one-on-one match against Farouk.
Yeah.
Because then you go to the Chicago Street Fight the following month with the Legion of Doom.
That was good though. That was actually good.
Yes, that was a really good move. This match was pretty good. I like the Nation. I like the Nation better when it got revamped, when Crush and Savio got the hell out of there. They had no business being in there whatsoever. And I love how you see D'Lo Brown is standing out there, a young little D'Lo with the hair. And I'm like, we'll see you soon. Once Farouk got D'Lo, Rock, I like the Nation.
Even with Mark Henry in there.
Yeah. And because that put Farouk and The Rock on the outs with each other, and The Rock was like, "The hell with you? I'm the leader. Screw you."
Let's go, Farouk.
That was good stuff.
I loved it.
So, getting back to this match, Farouk, he got the pin. Bart Gunn tried, he hit a bulldog from the top rope. Crush leg drop Bart Gunn. Farouk rolls over, gets the pin. Nation gets the victory. Obviously. So before this, we hadn't seen Bart Gunn in a while. He's still trying to hang on to this smoking gun. Meanwhile, the smoking guns are gone. And then pretty soon after this,
Rockabilly lives.
And Bart Gunn is either going to be a new Midnight Express or try to fight Butterbean and do brawl for alls and stuff. Yeah, exactly. So following this match, Doc Hendricks interviewed Steve Austin.
Oh, I love this promo.
Oh my! Any promo
He
from
said
Steve Austin
he said the
was.
three jackasses.
Yep. He
Oh,
also,
great.
mentioned how Gorilla Monsoon wouldn't acknowledge his Royal Rumble victory.
Hmm.
Hey, the referee didn't see you get out of the ring.
He did win. I mean, he won.
Exactly. He won it. You should be going to WrestleMania, but he's not. It's all right because he needed that next match against Bret Hart to solidify him. So now going forward from that one, our next match on the card was a rematch from 3 days earlier. It was Rocky Maivia defending the Intercontinental Championship against Hunter Hearst Helmsley, who lost the title to The Rock 3 days earlier.
But isn't it amazing when you look what happened later on? Because right now, like, nobody gives a shit about this. Nobody cares, right?
What about Maivia versus Helmsley?
Yeah, Maivia and Helmsley. Like,
not a couple of years from
right?
now when it becomes Triple H and The Rock.
Right, but isn't it amazing though? Like that transformation with both of those characters.
Look what we've seen in the last couple in your house. We saw Stone Cold face Hunter Hearst Helmsley. What's going to transpire over the years with those two guys?
But
now
at least
you've got Rocky and Triple H here.
At least when Stone Cold fought him, though, Stone Cold was like on the rise. Right here, it's kind of like these guys are just mid-carders, like.
And Rocky's still green.
Rocky's the baby-faced Rocky, Maivia.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. He's there, what, 4 months? He's in the WWE. He's already
champion.
Intercontinental Champion.
They rushed it. They rushed it, and Jim Ross would annoy the hell out of me when he would try. He's a blue chipper, and blah blah blah.
He was overselling him.
Overselling
a lot,
and the fans didn't like it. Didn't like it.
He was being thrown down their face.
Right.
Kind of like not Roman Reigns now, but Roman Reigns several years ago when Vince was trying to constantly throw him at you, and you don't like it. I think they rushed Rocky. The fans finally said, "You know what? The hell with it." And that's where the "Die Rocky Die" chance.
Die Rocky Die. Yeah.
And then what helped him was his injury to come back and be a heel, because then he didn't want to be a heel. In interviews he said it till finally, right when he was about to come back, he goes, "You know what, Vince? Just do it, because they're gonna boo me anyway."
Yeah.
And then when he gets to become a heel, what do? They cheer him. Mm-hmm. They're gonna be mine, people. Mm-hmm. But in any event, this match was pretty good. Again, a sign of things to come later on with the Intercontinental title and then against the WWE title. What's funny is Goldust comes down during this match, because let's not forget, Helmsley's got a feud going with Goldust.
Yeah, Goldust is now, he's a babyface.
And who are we going to see here in a few minutes after this match was really good. Rocky Maivia gets the suplex pin on, because he really didn't have a finisher here. He really did. I mean, either a shoulder breaker or a crossbody drop off the top rope. He really did not have one. And then what bothered me after this match going forward to WrestleMania is, who do they give the IC title match to? The Sultan.
That was another bad.
Where the hell did he come from for this? You got all these guys right now, Mero, Goldust, Helmsley, Rock, all fighting in the Intercontinental title picture, and the Sultan comes in. Okay.
Fatu.
Yeah, he did it for Bob Backlund at that point. But in any event, Rocky Maivia gets the victory here, keeps the Intercontinental title. But the interesting part of this match afterwards was the Amazon that showed up, China, out of nowhere, and they didn't know. They thought it was just a fan that grabbed Marlena. Yeah. I used to love when she grabbed Marlena. I really thought
it looked legit, right?
Especially that one time she did the bear hug, and she's really whipping her around. Yeah. Oh my God! How she got out of that? How she walked away from that? I have no idea. But at this point, I love how they screwed this up a little bit. I don't know if you caught this. China's choking her out. All of a sudden, after she lets her go, she's coherent, and then all of a sudden she's not.
Yeah. It's like,
yeah. Okay, people, we're buying this. Sell me the Brooklyn Bridge next too.
All right.
But in any event, this is where China was introduced, because now going forward, China would be in the corner of Helmsley. So it was good to see, the start of the China era. So following this match, Kevin Kelly interviews Vader with his new manager, Paul Bearer.
I completely forgot about this.
This didn't make any sense to me.
I don't even remember. When did he become his manager?
Shortly before this. Because they remember at WrestleMania now, Mankind and Vader were the number one contenders for Owen and Bulldog, which didn't make any sense. So it's like
Vader,
Cornette dropping Vader and Now, Paul Bearer being his manager didn't make any sense.
No, I didn't buy it. Didn't feel right.
No, it did not. The feud, well, mainly I think it was also because Vader is now feuding with the Undertaker, so Paul Bearer still has a vendetta with him. I don't know.
It's just him.
But in any event, our next match was for the WWE Tag Team Championships. It was Owen Hart and the British Bulldog defending against Doug Furnas and Philip LaFon. And I love how Clarence Mason is doing double duty. Yeah, I'm the leader. I help run the nation, but yet I'm the manager of you guys too.
Because he had stolen the contracts. He had this guy sign over, Jim
Cornette. Several in your houses back, and Owen's pulling his his jokey stuff. He goes in front of Bulldog with the slammies. Bulldog's laughing it off. There is dissension between these two guys at this point. And it took Bret later after WrestleMania to kind of to do away with it. Otherwise, these guys were breaking up. And you could tell they were selling the dissension during this match as well. But you could definitely see it during the match, especially with the ending, which didn't make any sense why you did that. Bulldog's got the power bomb, the power slam all ready to go on Philip LaFon. And out of nowhere, Owen just hits him with the slammy. So Furnas and LaFon win the match by disqualification. And Bulldog is irate, like, what are you doing? I had the match won. He goes, what is the matter? We're still the champions. And, they're going off, and he pushes them. And now the fans are starting to get behind the Bulldog here because they gave him the title belt and he throws it. So now you're like, uh-oh, these guys are going to, break up. Turns out they don't. But it was a nice little dissension storyline. But Bulldog's like, what the hell? He's telling even the fans, I had this won. And Owen's like, it don't matter. We're still the tag team champions. I think they also did this to end the match because no matter how much they tried to get the fans behind Furnas and LaFon, it was not happening. It
wasn't happening.
Which is why eventually they had to turn them heel. In the short time they were even there.
And nobody still cared.
No, exactly. Nobody cared. So following this match, Doc Hendricks interviewed The Undertaker, who had his new lease on life, as he would put it, as you would see the old Undertaker. If I'm going to see the old Undertaker, put the gray back on, get your red beard back, and let's do this. But instead, you're all coming out like a dominatrix and that whole leather thing, man. It's just a little weird, but okay. He had to adapt or die.
Yeah.
The Undertaker character had to evolve.
Keep changing.
And whatnot, yeah. So, in any event, and also following that interview, they showed the closing moments of what happened at the Royal Rumble. Austin causing all the chaos. Bret throws him out. Referee doesn't see it. Austin gets back in the ring. Vader and Taker are gone. Diesel's gone. And Austin gets the victory. And again, Gorilla Monsoon stating that he is not the Royal Rumble winner. Yeah, okay, he is. But anyway. So now Kevin Kelly interviewed Bret Hart before the main event, which we're about to have. And Bret Hart seemed sincere, like this was the old Bret Hart until the ending of the interview. Right. He's like, the better man's going to win. It's going to be me. I'm like, there's the egotistical guy that we've grown to love since Survivor Series. But I like this Bret Hart. The more ruthless Bret Hart. And yeah, he's getting screwed left and right. Welcome to real life, buddy. In any event, now we have the main event. It is Bret Hart, The Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Vader in a Final Four match. Now, the stipulation to this match is fairly simple. You win by pinfall, submission, or for whatever reason being thrown over the top rope where both feet touch the floor. By the way, there's no disqualification in this, so beat the hell out of each other as much as you want. The over-the-top rope thing didn't make any sense. If this was just a fatal four-way elimination match, all right, fine, good, we got it. Or just call it a Final Four.
I guess because of the fact that all this stuff happened because of the Royal Rumble, they incorporated that over the top thing, I guess, to make it a little different. I don't know.
And a couple of the eliminations did come from that. So, but for the longest time, there was no eliminations. They were just beating the hell out of each other. Vader was just busted open in his eye. He finally had to take his mask off.
He took his mask off. That was actually pretty cool. Take his mask off.
Austin and Bret beat the crap out of each other. Taker and Vader beating the crap out of each other. Then from time to time, they would switch it up. And this match, I really enjoyed this match.
Yeah, it was exciting.
It was hardcore.
You didn't know who was going to win. You didn't know who was going to win either. I mean, I didn't, at least. I was like, I don't know.
No, at this point it's up in the air because Shawn drops the title. Now it could be any one of these guys. And the one guy I thought that was due for it was The Undertaker because he hadn't been champion now going on almost 7, a little over 6 years since he last won it. So the first elimination finally came when Bret Hart threw Austin over the top rope. Now Stone Cold Steve Austin is out.
He's out, yeah.
Won't be the last time we see him either. Following, eventually after that, Vader went for the Vader bomb on Taker. He hits him with a low blow and eliminated Vader.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool, though.
Yeah,
when Taker did that, the low blow, I was laughing. That was actually a good spot.
It was. And then eventually the final elimination came with Bret Hart clothesline Taker over the top rope.
Well, it was because of Stone Cold, though.
Exactly, yeah. Austin had made his way back, and then I think Ross had said something. He goes, "Oh, here he is again." Well, of course
Undertaker had Bret beat.
Yeah.
I thought he had him beat.
That's when I thought, okay, they're giving the title to Undertaker, and he's going to go to WrestleMania with it. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Bret Hart wins the match, becomes the 4-time champion. He will now face Psycho Sid the next night on Raw. For the which in fact he will lose the WWE title.
Spoiler alert, he loses it. He has the title for one day. And I was pissed, man, because I was a huge Bret Hart fan.
Honestly, I was too.
I'm like, why the hell would you put the title on him for a day? It's like an insult.
I really thought he was going to WrestleMania with it.
Right, because the whole thing was Bret came back and he wanted the title back. He wanted the title back. He felt like he kind of got screwed in versus Shawn at the prior WrestleMania.
Technically,
because it went into overtime and that whole
thing.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I was happy to see Bret win the title. I was like, all right, Bret's champion. And then the next time he loses it. So, but before that, obviously, Sid then comes down.
Yep, Sid's making his way down to the ring to confront Bret, and that's they pulled the Tony Schiavone. They got to go.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Pretty much.
But going back to the Undertaker, Bret, right towards the end, as Taker was going, it was going for the tombstone where Austin. Got involved and whatnot.
He grabs Bret. He grabbed Bret's legs, right? Is that what happened? He had him up and he grabs.
Yeah, I really think he was trying to help him win now because if that's the case, then he can get a shot.
He can get a shot, yeah.
Because it was I think it wasn't the next night on Monday Night Raw. It was a couple of weeks later when when Sid, Taker, and Austin Bret was already signed. That Sid defended the title against Bret again on Raw. And Austin came out to help Bret win the title because then his match would be coming.
His match would have been,
And then Taker, and it was a steel cage match.
Yeah, it was a steel cage. Yeah,
and then Taker came down to save his match. Meanwhile, Shawn Michaels is coming down there just watching these guys beat the shit out of each other. And this is where Bret did the I'm tired of getting screwed. I think this is where he pushed Vince. Yeah. Because they were taking the cage down. He goes, I'm constantly being screwed by Shawn, by Austin, blah, blah, blah. So it was a good storyline thing going from here to WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, Bret is the 4-time WWE champion.
Yeah. So I mean, overall, because of the main event, I thought it was all right.
They were able to salvage.
They were able to salvage the mess that
Shawn left them. Yes.
Yeah. So
unfortunately,
it was all right. All right. Well, you guys let us know what you think. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.